Welcome to Journaling with Nature, the podcast for those who want to turn curiosity into wonder, a pencil sketch into a rabbit hole of discovery, a moment of stillness into a life full of joy. I'm your host, Bethan Burton. Let's open the pages of our nature journals and explore this world together. Hello, this is episode 140. I want to say a really big thank you to you for another year of nature journaling together, of learning from podcast guests and playing with prompts. Thank you for being here, for listening along, for your patience while I took some time away to grieve for my dad, and for those times lately when my scheduling has been a little haphazard as I navigate the juggling of work and parenting. Thank you for all the comments left on the episodes on my website and also over on YouTube. Your comments mean so much to me because it gives me an insight into the guests and the topics that move you or make you think or spark your own nature journaling. Thank you for your support on Patreon, which means I can keep going with this project. It's been more than 3 years that we've been doing this podcast together, and I'm so happy and grateful for the community that's developed around it and for the loving connections that I've made. Earlier this year, when I was with my family in Europe, I was lucky enough to meet 6 different nature journal friends, all of whom I had only ever communicated with via the internet until that point, all of whom I had interviewed here on the podcast, and every one of them is a dear friend. It really was one of life's biggest joys to make these connections and to travel to England, Wales, Germany, and Italy to meet these friends. This nature journaling community is truly a worldwide one, and everyone has their own beautiful stories to share. Today will be our last episode for the year. I'll take a couple of weeks off for the holidays, and then we'll be right back at it for the new year. For today's prompt, I encourage you to do as I'm going to do and spend a little time finishing up your unfinished projects. I don't know for sure, but I'm going to take a guess that, like me, you have lots of ideas, more ideas than you actually have time for, and that you get sparked in one direction and then another, and you might even end up with lots of unfinished projects or half-completed journals like I do. I have several unfinished projects that I'm going to spend the next couple of weeks finishing so that in the new year I can spring into new projects. Let me tell you about a few of my unfinished ones. I have a couple of unfinished travel journals with pages that I started and never finished. I think nature journaling is such an amazing way to capture memories of trips and places you visit, and I had the best intentions to keep the journal every day, and it just didn't happen, so I plan to finish the pages I started, filling in the details from notes I took and from photographs. Another project that's really dear to my heart is one that I started 2 years ago. I intended to create a nature journal for my dad. He would come here and work on the garden every week, and he created an amazing flourishing garden of native plants here at my home, and I planned to spend time in his garden and make a nature journal for him as a Christmas gift 2 years ago. I did make a good start, but life got in the way and I didn't finish it. Now he's passed away and his garden is a hugely important part of the way that I can connect with him and remember him. His garden legacy is always here and it's always changing, and I want to complete this nature journal for him even though he won't be able to see it. The process is important for me and a way for me to know he's with me. So those are the 2 projects that I hope to get going with. I plan to document the finishing of these projects over on YouTube just as a way for me to get motivated to finish them and to share my story with you. Finishing projects can be so satisfying. I wonder if you feel that too. And it also opens up the way for new projects, new ideas, and new inspiration. So, to finish a project is our invitation this week. I would love to hear about your own projects that you're keen to finish and the ones that you're keen to start in the new year. You can click over to this episode on the Journaling with Nature website and leave a comment letting us know all about them. I'm excited about the new year. New start, new podcast guests. There are so many people coming up that I'm thrilled to share with you. Over on the platform Patreon, patrons of the show have the chance to get a little sneak preview into who's coming up, and also the opportunity to propose questions for the guests, which I will then ask during my interviews. It's a really fun and interactive way for you as the listener to be a real part of the show. So again, thank you for being here, for all your support this year. Enjoy finishing up your projects and planning your new ones. I really look forward to hearing all about them. Thank you so much for listening. See you next year.